Hi everybody, and welcome to Josiah is Right. So I am here at my parents'. I've been here for about 2 weeks on vacation, visiting my mom and dad and seeing all my brothers and my nieces and nephews. And so our trip is about to end, and I am actually chasing daylight here. So I'm in the front yard, and the sun is setting behind you guys, in front of me, and so you can probably see it shift on the trees a little bit. And you can hear the birds chirping here, the cicadas actually. So I don't know how loud and overwhelming that'll be, but we are authentically here in the woods, which is my parents' front yard, which is what's all around us, the woods. So what I'm going to talk about today is all the collectibles I found on this trip. Thrift store finds, other things, everything I found on this trip will be talked about. So you can hear those cicadas just quieted down, so I'm sure they'll pick back up. I don't know if you can hear the road. It's a bit down over the hill to my left and sort of that way as well behind you guys, but I don't know if it'll get loud. The road in the summer, you can't really hear it because of the trees. In the winter, you can hear the sound of the road because there's no leaves. But we're going to talk about collecting. So first things up, and almost kind of sort of just getting it out of the way here, is a Hallmark ornament. So we collect Hallmark ornaments. All of our ornaments are, you know, fun, geeky, for the most part, kind of ornaments. And those cicadas go up and down, don't they? So here you can see Iron Man from Civil War. So I know there's the Captain America that's meant to face off this one, but we got this one for, you know, a couple bucks. You can actually, if you look there, Penny chewed on the back of it because she was holding it. But 75% off in the middle of summer, so. Next up is something I've already shared in another video as I unboxed it, and that is my NES Classic. Now this is just the empty box right here. The rest of it is hooked up in my parents' and my mom and dad's living room right now, so that is where you can find that one. Inside, I will be playing it later, actually, probably. So one other thing I did was probably what definitely is and was my last ever trip to Toys R Us. I actually went to the Toys R Us in Cranberry here, and it was already closed that day. They had a sign up said we're no more toys. It was only for people coming to pick up fixtures. That Cranberry Toys R Us was my favorite Toys R Us ever. It was like it was just like a cathedral of shopping for toys. So we got a few things at Babies R Us, which is right down the street from that Toys R Us in Cranberry, PA. Now it's neither of them are there. So the Toys R Us in Cranberry, though, it had this glass front. It was gorgeous. I wanted to shoot a video like last time going there, and I didn't even take a picture of it because I was just kind of depressed about it. But first of all, I got Adorbs, which is a Funko thing, and it is Tron, which is great. They had the bad guy from Wonder Woman, I think, or Justice League. I don't know. The toy, they look the same. But this is cool, cute. I like Tron a lot. It came out in 1982, year I was born, so I'm a big fan of, well, a fan of Tron. Big fan, I wouldn't say that, but definitely a fan of, you know, for $1 something probably on this. Also at Toys R Us was Wonder Woman here. So this is the sort of the mascara outfit, just the normal Diana before she's Wonder Woman. And again, this was a couple of dollars at Toys R Us, which actually specifically Babies R Us, but those are my last purchases over. We got something for my nephew as well, a birthday gift. It was a Hulkbuster Iron Man, and we gave that to him ahead of time. His birthday is next month, as we'll be back in California. And we got this. We got a little plush for Penny, and the Tron Dorbs that I just showed you guys. That's it. Goodbye, Toys R Us. Now, everything else you'll see is all thrift store finds. So every other collectible I got at a thrift store here in Pennsylvania. For a couple different thrift stores we went to, but most of these came from the same place. It's a little shop in Trenholm. I like what I find there. I will say this, it reeks of cigarette smoke, which I hate. The lady's real nice, though. I think it's her nephew or something, the people that work there that smoke in the back when they work on the furniture. They mostly sell furniture, so when I come in looking for toys and comics and stuff like that, they're kind of cool to make a deal. So we got some good deals. So one thing I actually don't have with me before I show you this record is a Fisher-Price record player. It's one of those ones that plays toys, but it's vintage. It's really good. I'll cut to a shot of it so you can see that. But first up is this Chipmunks Christmas album. So this is like legit old school Chipmunks from what year were the Chipmunks? Like the 60s, the 50s? I don't know how old the Chipmunks are. So you can see here the vinyl itself. I'm not finding a date, but I don't know how old the Chipmunks actually are, but I know, I mean, at least the 60s, right? Were they around in the 50s? Does anybody know? Well, will I remember to Google this before I post this? I don't know, but I just love this old school style of art. You know, and I was a big Chipmunks fan as a kid in the 80s, so I love that version, and there's a new version as well that I didn't care for, so. Penny hasn't seen it yet, so hopefully she doesn't like it, because I don't like it. But maybe she'll like the old ones. That's the good stuff. Right here. We'll listen to this when we get back. So in just today specifically, this is, like I said, most of this I think is all from the same thrift store. I got a couple of video games. So first up, a demo disc. I love demo discs. This one is from the PlayStation Underground magazine, which I don't think I ever subscribed to it. I did buy it a few times, but it was great because it came with a demo disc. There was an independent PSM magazine that I actually subscribed to. It didn't come with demo disc. It came with these great stickers that you could put on the PlayStation. So that is just fun. I'll see what's on here. It lists some of the games, but 12 playable demos. So hey, and you can play them on PlayStation 3, which is pretty cool about the PlayStation 3 because I don't really use it for much else anymore. Next up is Namco Museum. So this is cool because it's basically your classic arcade type games. How many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 games. So 4 that are pictured there and then 4 that are listed. So I'm excited to play it. I haven't tested it. I can't test it out here. But the discs themselves look really good. Really clean. Really nice looking discs. So hopefully it plays well. It does look clean, like I said. No damage, no scratches. So, and next up is WCW, what is this? Versus the World. So, is it NWO versus the World or the World versus WCW? I don't know. But anyway, so you have here, again, the disc looks good. It's, I think I played this on the N64, and I have something on the N64. It was Revenge. I have WCW NWO Revenge, and I like that engine. I don't know how this one plays. I wasn't a fan of WCW at this time, or wrestling yet, because this is 1997, and I got into it probably 98, actually, as a high schooler, and I really was a big fan for that period, and then the 80s again. But other than that, I've never been a wrestling fan. I watch occasionally, but I've never been able to get back into it. So, but I am excited to check this out, see how it plays. So, one of Judy's favorite finds, I would say definitely her favorite find, is this awesome Mickey Corn Pop. It doesn't, well, I don't know that it doesn't work, but it's missing the bottom battery pack, and that would actually complete the circuit kind of thing. So, we'll need to figure out how to replace that to test it, but even if it doesn't work, it's just absolutely adorable, and it looks nice and cute, and Mickey's got his little walking legs thing. I have a Donald Duck that was my dad's, actually. There's a hand-me-down that's similar to this, but it's really small, and it doesn't have the popcorn popper. This is, I think, from the 70s. I'm not sure, because the actual labeling might have been on that part of the toy, but regardless, this is just a nice decorative piece. It might not be that valuable, but it's more, you know, most everything is for our collection. I sometimes sell pieces of these things, but it's mainly for us, and I just sell it because we don't have space. It's not like it's a career for me, but anyway, this is super adorable. It'll look great on the shelf. It'd be really awesome, by the way, if some deer walked by, because they do that here. Like, right behind me yesterday there was a deer, so should have recorded then. Next up, 2 little California raisins. So these guys are delicious and nutritious, and I had both of these as a kid. So both of these guys were California raisins that I actually owned. Saxophone guy and dancer with glasses. I had a couple more that didn't survive. These guys didn't survive. These are replacements, obviously, from that smoky thrift store. I actually soak these in a dish soap, like Dawn dish soap, so they should smell nice and fresh now. Hopefully, God willing, they're clean, but they do smell like dish soap. That's good. They kind of smelled like smoke before because they're rubbery, so it absorbs the smoke. And a couple of McDonald's Happy Meal toys. So here we have a Snow White one, and I think these are from like the early 90s, mid 90s, somewhere in there. The 90s, I don't know. Probably the early 90s. You have Dopey and Doc? I don't know. Penny has shirts that each shirt is a different dwarf, and she has all 7 of them, and I still don't totally know them. So, and then we have this lovely little Wolverine in his weirdly disproportionately sized jet, and of course it becomes like Wolverine's claws. I don't know if you can see that. So, yeah, see his claws, and they come out, or they go out. So, Wolverine's coming at you. So, it's a weird toy, but, you know, it's Wolverine. And these 2 were just in a random bin together. There's a lot of other ones that I don't know what they are, or it was like Barbie, so not for me. Departing from the thrift store for a second, and we'll get back to the thrift store, are several trading card packs. So I've already opened all these, and I'm actually going to be doing a series of videos where I show you what's inside. So look forward to those. I've shot all the openings here at my parents', and I'll post them throughout the next couple weeks or so, like probably after Comic-Con, because I'm going to do some Comic-Con stuff coming up really soon. But you have Ninja Turtles, which are both the movie and the cartoon, so you see here those ones. I don't know if you can hear, that was actually a loud car going by, a truck, and that's down to the hill, so that means it's loud or it's fast. You hear it? Yeah. So here we have DC. That was like the first DC series, which I was actually really into, and I'll share a little bit more about that in the other video. Marvel Series 4. And Spider-Man series. So these were at the Pittsburgh Mills Mall, kind of a dead mall, really sad, quite terrible mall, but it has a good comic book store and a good collectible store, but you know, not much else in that mall. So Even like Sears and stuff like that closed down there. J.C. Penney's, like nothing is there. But American Eagle was there. American Eagle's a Pittsburgh company, and they bailed on the mall. The Pittsburgh Bills Mall. So, unfortunately. Back to the thrift store. So perhaps my favorite find at the thrift store was this Pigs in Space lunch pail. Now, it's pretty much beat to hell, but it is awesome. You can see here. So check that out. And on the back, it is gorgeous. The inside is sticker, but it didn't come with a thermos. It is thermos brand, but you can see it's just, oh, it's beautiful. Like I so love this. There's a big dent right there. I don't even remember how much it cost. We like most of everything we got for like one price for like $40 for everything, something like that. And so this was part of it. This is like one of the things that I was, you know, if I left everything else behind, maybe this would have been it. I love this lunchbox, so I would not put my lunch in it. But maybe if I cleaned it, but it's pretty rusty though too. So, but hey, Pigs in Space. So this is great. Two things I love: Star Wars and the Muppets. Star Wars and a parody of Star Wars. You're good to go. It's kind of interesting too, because there's a thing in here. It says Captain Link Hogthrob and Doctor Strange Pork, which are I don't recall well enough, but I think those are the character names. Someone can correct me on that. I've seen Pigs in Space, but I was a kid. It was a long time ago. You know, on the part of the Muppet Show kind of thing. This is from '77, so that's pretty cool. So that tells you though that I don't know if someone just did that or if that was in. I don't know what that is, because it looks like, you know, someone typed that up on a typewriter and then stuck that in there. If you look at the type, pretty crazy. So. But it sounds like someone did it. I don't think the manufacturer would have put that in there thinking that far ahead. And then I have a stack of comic books. So I'll just kind of go through them quickly. So we have Captain America here. We have Long Shot. We have some Spidey thing that's, you know, the Electric Company. So keeping in our sort of kids show theme. Well, Muppets was the adult show, but I've been watching a lot of Sesame Street with Penny, so that's in my head. Kids show theme is my life. Mad Balls, the comic book. So we have both the limited series represented here and the ongoing series. So, yes, Mad Balls comics. But the best part of it is probably the Silverhawks on the back, and then you have the Popples on the back of this one. You see the Popples there, Silverhawks there. Those are awesome toy lines, and of course, a Mad Balls ad. So hopefully I'll make a collage using this, plus probably more like the ad. So that's kind of my goal. So an X-Force comic just kind of thrown in there. I'm always happy for a 90s X-Force comic. And then you have some beat up Archie. They're pretty beat up, but I've never done an Archie collage, so I'd like to do one. And then we have a lot of the new Micronauts. I didn't know there was a new Micronauts, but that's what these guys are, and there's 4 issues of it randomly. I read the older Micronauts series from before this one, so I knew that from, you know, well, I read it in like probably the 90s, but it was from the 70s, and it was cheap at the time for me. So the reason I showed you those, and I've talked a lot about collages. I don't know if I've shared, but one of my hobbies is making collages out of comic books, and I just want to share. This is one I made while I was here. So this is a long shot comic book collage. So what I normally do is I'll cut out the background pieces, and then I'll like cut out the center, and so that's what you can see what I did here. It's a little bit different, but this one has a lot of depth. So you can see there's 3 layers of glass. The back layer is comics, the next layer is the titles, and the next layer is long shot. And there's actually a 4th layer out front, but 3 layers of glass, not gas, covered with comic books. So that's what you're seeing here. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope to share more about those in the future with my collages, but just a hobby of mine I really enjoy doing. It's just, I'll post a link. I do sell them on Etsy. This one actually won't be for sale because I don't think I could ship it without destroying the glass, but I've made it for myself anyway. So I don't know who of you love Longshot, but I love Longshot. Art Adams did the art here. Great work. Now we are down to our absolute last collectible. So the last thing I have to show you guys is coming up in just a second. And it was at that smoky, I almost said convenience store, it was at that smoky thrift store that I talked about in Tarentum. Buried treasure, hidden treasure, something like that. But what it is a Batman that is just, I've never seen it before. I mean, I haven't. It is this nice, heavy, cool, rubber cape, hard, solid Batman. I don't know anything about it. I haven't looked it up yet. I don't see a year on it. It's the Batman. It looks like more that like Justice League Unlimited version of Batman. So that's kind of what you're seeing here. So you can see like the kind of like the more pointed ears look and that. So it's a little bit of a different look, but that is what this Batman is. He's really heavy. There's a little bit of articulation, like the arms move and the legs sort of pivot weirdly. Like if you can see that, they kind of just turn that way, and the hip pivots as well. And so this guy was like $4 or something, but again, he was sort of thrown in. and he still got water coming out of him because I soaked him with those California raisins. So you can see here, I soaked this guy in water because this cape smelled so strongly, but it seems to be clean. Yeah, it actually doesn't smell like cigarette smoke anymore. So I washed it several times and then I cleaned it again. So that is what you see here, and those are my collectibles. This is one of my longer collectibles videos because it's all my trip here, and we try to go to a lot of thrift stores, check a lot of things out. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I post a new video every Sunday and Thursday, actually. I haven't said that in a while, but that's when I do it consistently. So regardless of what it is, whether it's a Disneyland video, collecting video, or it's one of my more in-depth like breakdowns of a story, or whatever it is that I'm doing, who knows. It will be Sunday or it will be Thursday. So be sure to check those out. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure hanging out with my family, and it's been really fun to record this in the yard. So enjoy my other videos, which I've already recorded, and they'll be posted at a later date than this one. Thank you guys. Bye.